Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porch Light Letters podcast number 2326, Masterminds, Meetings, and Moments. I've had a very mixed bag today. So coming off the high from yesterday from finding out that I've got the rental place, we had our monthly mastermind meeting today, which had me up at 4 o'clock so I could get online by 5. I was online at 4:45, ready for the mastermind to start. We had a great mastermind, great ideas shared. My to-do list grew on things to do and things to try. So when you come to a mastermind, we always get told it's like a buffet. There's going to be a lot of stuff that some you want to listen to and some you don't. Some's going to apply to you and some don't. So you just take what you need and leave the rest. But I like to try new things as well. So there was a few new things that were talked about, and I thought, wonder how that can work. I wonder how that can work for my business. And I've always learned, instead of saying I can't, you turn around and say, how can I make that work in my business? Complete mind shift. So I've got written down the notes that I want, and and with the note in the margin saying, how can I make this work for my business? So we'll see how that goes. But lots of great ideas shared, lots of wins, which was awesome. My big win was I got a place. I've got a house. Yes, I'm moving on the 31st. So where am I? How far out am I? Just over 2 weeks away. Yay. The mum and dad can have their house back. And then after the meeting, we after the mastermind, had a bit of a break, then got on with my business partner, and we had great conversations on the directions that our business is going, what's happening, what needs to be done, who's doing what well, what and when and where, and setting up meetings with clients and things like that. So that was awesome. And I will tell you this is going to be a very short podcast today because I'm not feeling the greatest right now. So I'm actually going to go and have a sleep. So I wanted to get this done before I went and took a snoozle. But yeah, just not feeling right. And then after that, I had to call the bank in the US so I could get the wire transfer done for the money that I'm going to need for the house. Well, that was an adventure. It was 55 minutes and 44 seconds long. And I don't know if anything was achieved. I had 3 questions. I had them written down on my little piece of paper. So I said, well, the first thing I need to do is do a wire transfer. Is there any way that I can go online and do it? She says, no. Okay, so I either have to log into my account and message it to them to do, or I have to call them to do it, or go into a branch to do it. I said, well, I can't go to a branch because there's no branches here in New Zealand. And so I got the vibe from the person I was talking to that I was inconveniencing them. So she told me how to log into my account and go to the place where I have to upload the information I had. And she says, well, where did you get the transfer information from? I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? It's going from my account in the US to my account in New Zealand. And she says, well, where did you get the information from? I go, what information? She says, the information for the wire transfer. I said, what do you mean? What exactly is the information you require? So then she starts going on about it. And I said, well, I own the account in the US. The account in New Zealand is mine. I got the information from my account information. I've got my account information right here in front of me on the computer. Oh, you're logged in on your computer. Okay, that's fine then. And I'm like, this is really weird. And then she asked me some other question that I didn't understand either. So I had to have her explain that. And I was like, I feel like a kid in a kid in a store that made you feel really dumb and stupid. So I had some information for her. And then she says, well, what's the name of the bank? So I told her the name of the bank. What's their address? I go, well, I don't know. And so then I had to spend a few minutes online trying to find the information. So I finally found the information on the bank. Then she wants me to upload all the information through their portal for the wire transfer stuff, so it's always on file. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. So we copied and pasted the information that I had, but of course it didn't have the address of the bank. It didn't have, well, it had the name of the bank. It didn't have the address of the bank, and it didn't have my address on there. So, well, my address is on my account. So that should be pretty straightforward. And so I found an address for the bank and gave that to her. And then she wanted me to so I'm trying to get the thing to upload. Their little wheel just kept spinning. It says, I don't know what's going on with the system today, but the wheel is spinning and I'm not getting anywhere. I said, while that's working itself out, I said, let me ask you another couple of questions. So I said, now I have Zelle, or I had Zelle. I said, I can't Zelle. I said, I receive payments via Zelle, but I need to be able to pay via Zelle as well. And it's only going in the US. I said, it's not going anywhere else, it's only going in the US. Well, it turns out that your cell number, your email, and your address have to be in the US in order for you to be able to use Zelle. I'm like, so because I have a New Zealand address on there, it won't let me Zelle, even though the account is based in the US and I'm only Zelling to other US accounts. Yes, that is correct. I'm like, okay. So my third question was, how do I get verification codes? Because my US phone is on Magic Jack, which is basically a voice over internet protocol that you can attach your cell phone to. And she said, well, that has to do with the Visa company. I'm like, okay. And then she wanted me to, and I said, so how do I get a verification code? I said, because my phone won't receive them. And she says, oh, you'll have to call us and we'll put you through to the fraud department for the verification code. And I go, meanwhile, the transaction has now timed out because it takes so long to get a verification code. This needs to be sorted out. Well, it has to go through Visa to be sorted out. Okay. She was not being very cooperative at all. So then the spinny wheel was threw me back to the menu, like it had timed out, threw me back to the menu. So I said, well, I'm in Chrome. I'm on and she says, yeah, no, you should be fine with Chrome. And I says, you don't need another browser. She said, well, you could try another browser. I thought, great. So I went to another browser, put in my login information. It wanted to send me a verification code. But it said it could email me a verification code. So I elected for it to email me a verification code. I never got an email. So I explained this to the girl. I said, now asking me for a verification code, and I asked it to email me instead of texting it to me because I know the text won't work. I said, neither does the email. She said, what do you mean? I said, I asked it to email me, and there's no email that has come through. There's still no email that has come through, not even in spam. Spam is empty. My bank, I have a folder for my bank, and that's empty as well. Oh, that has no new messages in it either. And so then I finally went back to Chrome and tried again, and boom, it went through and uploaded, and we're all good and everything else. And I'm like, oh, jeepers. And so we got everything uploaded. So then she's going through all the steps and everything else, and we get to the end, and she starts reading the little thing. I said, well, she says, do you verify that the information is correct? I said, well, I can't verify the information because I can't see it. You said you'd emailed it. I don't have an email, so I can't verify any of the information. She said, well, do you verify the information that you gave me is correct? I said, the information I gave you is correct. Whether or not it's been entered into the system correctly or not, I don't know because I can't see it and I have received no emails. And you told me you had emailed me and there's none come through. And she'd emailed me like 5 minutes beforehand. And I said, what? But hang on. I said, how can you verify the transaction when you didn't even ask me how much money I wanted transferred? And I hear this soft click, and the next thing I get is this, thank you for calling XYZ Bank. Please stay on the line for the survey. And I'm like looking at the phone going, what? She basically hung up on me, put me through to the survey. The first question on the survey was, and it goes through all the instructions for the survey, and the first question on the survey was your issue resolved? I went, no. Thank you for calling and taking part of our survey. Click. So now I'm just letting it sit for a little bit. I'm going to call the bank back at some point. Thankfully, they have a 24/7 line. I'm going to call them back because I don't know if I have a transaction. I don't know if my wire transfer has been completed. Oh, then she told me it'll take 5 to 10 business days to get here. I'm like, what? I'm like, it is banks. They're computers. Why would it take so long? Why would it take 5 to 10 days? Like, jeepers. I'm like, that's just stupid. In this day and age, when you've got banks, you've got computers, high-speed connections and all this, I know they've got all those security hoops to leap through and everything else. Why can't it go faster? Why does it take 5 to 10 business days? So I'm like, great. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to call back. I'll see how I feel after I go and have a snoozle. If I can shake this feeling off, because it's not the cold thing. I feel really weird. So I thought I'd just go lay down. But yeah, so I don't know if my transaction is going to go through or not, because I don't recall her asking me how much. I told her which account it comes out of, but I didn't tell her how much out of the account she was to transfer. So, oh, I did find out they're charging me $25 for the wire transfer, and every time I need to do a wire transfer, I have to call them to do it. And so I said, so if I type up all this information that I've given you, with the name of the bank, their address, their SWIFT code, which I had no idea what that was. It took me ages to find that, along with my name and address and my bank account number, and upload that into the portal, then I won't have to go through this whole rigmarole again. She says that's correct. I'm like, oh, but it's like everything that I need the bank to do is an inconvenience, apparently, for them to even do it for me. So, well, it is for this woman. And the way that they have it with the methods and stuff is an inconvenience for them. So when I call back, I'm going to go through the exact same process. One, to see if the wire transfer has been complete, has been submitted. If it has not, I will be extremely upset. And then two, see if I can get a different answer on the Zelle and the verification code. So I'll keep you posted and let you know what happens. But right now, I've got questions for you, and then I'm going to go take a nap. So what insights or ideas do you get? What insights or ideas from a meeting feel most exciting to explore further? Number two, how do you typically respond when people treat you like an inconvenience, and how might you want to shift that response in the future? I'm coming up with ideas. I needed to calm down some before I call back. What small joys or surprises showed up today, like the classic? Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. So when I was sitting in my business meeting, I look out the window, and this absolutely gorgeous purple car goes past. It's like dark purple, like, yeah, the purples that you're seeing on the thing. And it has shiny chrome trim. And it's what we in New Zealand call a yank tank, which are the cars that came out in the 50s and 60s that were very wide and very long. And this one had the fins on the backlights, not the one across the thing, just up the sides. I want to say it's a Ford Fairlane, but I don't know if it was. I know it was a Ford, but that's all I can tell you. Fairlane popped into my head, but I couldn't see what was written on the back. But I went that way first, and then it came back that way. And then a few minutes later, there was two classic VW bugs that went past. One was in this absolutely gorgeous shiny purple that the yank tank was in, and the other one was electric blue. They looked absolutely stunning. And I'm like thinking, why did I not see the cars yesterday heading to the parade? Were they not in the parade? And Mum, so it's usually on a Sunday they have like the classic car club gets out and about, and they had a place that they went to, and the council or whatever put up things that they couldn't go in that area anymore. So he says, I don't know where they park now, but apparently they find some place to park, pop the bonnets or the hoods, so you can see the engines, or in the VW place, pop the boot or the trunk so that people can see the engines and that sort of stuff. And they just gather around and chit chat and talk and admire each other's cars and handiwork and talk cars and talk shop, that sort of stuff, and whatever they do at car clubs when they go for a drive with me. But I was surprised I didn't see any classic cars going that way yesterday, for the Christmas parade that was on. So not sure why. Maybe they found a different way to get there. Who knows? But anyway, I'm out of here. Oh, hang on. I got to finish the questions, don't I? So what small joys or surprises showed up today, like the classic cars, that reminded you to pause and smile? And how can you protect your energy and stay grounded when both inspiration and frustration hit on the same day? I'm still excited because I'm getting the house. Frustrated with the bank? Absolutely, because the bank has been nothing but, I have nothing but praise for the bank up until today. Anytime I have gone in there, this is absolutely hilarious. Sometimes I go through the drive-through because I have a single transaction to do. It might have been, I had a check to deposit one time. No, cash. Check. I had a check to deposit one time, and for some reason I couldn't do it online. And so I had filled out the deposit form, which was a piece of paper with very enlarged. So I filled that out, and then I put, thank you very much for your assistance today. Have a super fantastic sparkling day. Folded it all up, put it in the tube, sent it off to them. And because the person comes on the thing to say, oh, thank you, welcome to XYZ Bank. And she said, how may I assist you today? I said, I've got a deposit coming through. So she sends the thing over so I can put it on and I send it back to her. She goes, okay, we've got this. And she opens up and goes, oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much for making my day. This is my pleasure. And so she said, I'll be right back with that for you. And anytime I've gone in there, everybody has been super helpful, polite, friendly, made you feel welcome, that you weren't an inconvenience. And then today's interaction with somebody from there, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I don't know what's going on in her life that's made it where it made me feel like I was an inconvenience for her. But the whole call was dealt with, probably some part on my part as well as hers, was not ideal. Is it going to spoil me for the bank? No, because I've had too many. I'm not going to let one incident spoil the other interactions that I've had with this bank. It's been a great bank the whole time that we've had the accounts with them. We've never had any issues with them. So am I going to let this one thing spoil it? No, because I've had, like I said, too many positives with this bank to let one small incident upset the apple cart. So with that, I am out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m.